Okay, this is a brief video about the Louet Victoria and the parts of the Louet Victoria. What you're looking at right now is the orifice. It's a 3/8 orifice. As the spinner, your fiber is turning into yarn, going through the orifice, out the top of the orifice, which is another hole here, through this little, basically it's a cut hook, and then into the closed loop. The closed loop is a slider so that you can evenly load the yarn onto your bobbin. This is your bobbin, and evenly loading your yarn onto the bobbin ensures that you have fairly even take-up tension. Take-up tension is how fast essentially the yarn is pulled away from you by the wheel. And the faster you want to spin, the more take-up tension you want, but also less twist gets into your yarn the faster you're feeding it on. How much twist is loaded onto your yarn is controlled by how many times you treadle before letting your yarn be loaded onto the bobbin, and where your poly drive band is, that's this thing, is on your whirl, which is this thing. This is the 6:1, this is the 9:1, and this is the 13:1 ratio. Ratios are just how many times the big wheel turns or how many times this little wheel turns. So the 13:1 means that this turns 13 times for every time this wheel turns once. It's kind of like gears on your car. And let's see. Now, usually a flyer on many wheels, a flyer is supported by a mother of all. This isn't really a mother of all because it's not supporting the flyer, but it is holding the Scotch tension. The Scotch tension, which controls how your take-up tension, has a spring, and the spring is very flexible. It's pretty small, the loops are pretty small, and then it's nice because it's rather like the Lendrum setup, which was really sensitive because it was a rubber band, so that when you tighten this, or you loosen it, here you can see that's tightening it. You can see how the spring lengthens and loosening it, and the tighter it is, the more it's going to pull it away from you. It's sensitive but not too sensitive. The Magic-Craft Gem has a much stiffer spring, and when you make a small adjustment to its tension, you really feel it in the take-up. And that's a handle that I'm holding it by. It's quite nice, quite handy. This is the back shaft. This is the footman. Underneath this plastic cup here, there's a sealed bearing, and these are the double treadles. We turn it around to the back, and we see that there's a sealed bearing, which controls the shaft of the bobbin. And the whirl spins on it. So you have no noise and no maintenance for that. And then another sealed bearing for the wheel, so no noise and no maintenance for that. Now, even though this is a light wheel, I don't experience any tipping on the floor because it's got these sturdy rubber cups on the bottom. So it doesn't scoot on carpet, it doesn't scoot on hardwood, which is very nice because I used to have a Kromsky Mazurka, and while it was a beautiful wheel, it scooted all over the place, and you'd have to kind of ruin the look of the beautiful little wooden feet by putting rubber cups on. But since this already looks very modern, you don't have to worry about that. And I know I missed something. What did I miss talking about? Nope, I think that's it. Alright, I hope somebody found that informative, or at least a little bit entertaining. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care.